sit in front of it. And once again, I'm here with my counterparts, Mr. DJ pt.1 and the Queen, Sandy.
So hi everybody, thank you for coming to join us in our 20th celebration of our 20th episode. So we got a good show for y'all tonight. We got some awesome guests here today. So I'm gonna pass the mic around. We're gonna let everybody introduce themselves. So we're gonna start with Mr. Matt here. We're gonna start.
Stand up. What's going on, good people? My name is Chauncey, but I'm also known as Chauncey the Artist. I just want to thank Savvy E and them guys in the back for inviting me to this wonderful event. I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be here.
Just pass the mic.
Should it be a lady first? There you go.
So you're not even going to do an intro? Intro. Peace, my name is Jada, I also go by J Aura. I am unpublished model, singer, songwriter. I'm also one of Miss Savvy's models for Savvy Events. And I'm happy to be here. I like to wear cute things, and so that's all I need. Thank you.
Jeez. What's going on, world? This is actor Lamont Elliott, aka LA. Simple as that. Next. Here you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Monique, also known as Mo, owner of Love Solo Shop, where we focus on rebuilding relationships and intimacy. So I'm excited for this.
Hey.
How you doing? My name is Sean, also known as Fitness by Sean. Excited to be here, so enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, my name is Dominique Stapleton. I'm a sports agent. I'm here actually reporting for me, but I have a little insight too, so stay tuned.
Thank you everybody for coming and being here tonight. I'm really super excited. How about you?
Oh yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Okay, good. So we're gonna bring Mr. Guy up, and he's gonna tell y'all what we're gonna be talking about tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 20th episode, our season finale of Good Vibes TV. Tonight, what we're going to be discussing is exporting your partner sexually, intimacy, and mentally, bringing out the unknown. So, we got a couple special guests here with us to discuss the stuff, and you know how we do on Good Vibes TV, we talk a whole bunch of crap after. So, without further ado, Savvy.
Yes, thank you. So, we have a special guest here tonight. Can you stand up for me, please? Yes, sure. Come forward, please. So, can you just tell us a little bit about your product rating?
Oh, okay, yes. Okay, do I need to pull them out or? Okay. So, a part of the collective of Love Solo Shop is enhancement toys. So we cater to singles and relationships, but we want to make sure that we're inclusive. So you can use this in your solo time or you can use it with your partner. You got entanglements, it's none of my business. But your toys can go around however you want as long as you clean them, okay? So I'm going to show a couple toys. And my kid. Yeah, kid. Okay, so since this one is on top, this is for my males. For all y'all. Observe. So, your strong point goes here.
Did you say your strong point?
Your strong point, yeah, you know. Keep it classy, we on Facebook. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can probably see from over here what the vibration is gonna look like. And now it has a lot of different, it has about 7 different vibration patterns and intensities. So literally, you can use it by yourself or you can use it with your partner. So I always recommend guys to get this to use with their partner so that you can enhance what you enjoy as far as pleasure, whether it be oral sex or hand on, whatever it might be. And now with your partner, they're able to use it on you and see how you respond to it. So it's not just like, you know, I got this toy and I'm using it on my own. It's like my queen is gonna see what I enjoy and how I wanna be touched and how I wanna feel. So this one here is for my guys. Alright, so I done changed this week. Alright. So now, this right here is my favorite toy. It's under my pillow. It's my baby. This is not the actual one, this is display toy, just so y'all know. This is for the ladies. Alright, this is a clit stimulator. So literally on our clit, it goes like a vacuum. It's like, so literally, we tap out. Just like, it's a tap out like instrument. And it starts at a slow vibration and then it increases at your own speed. So I like to call it perfect hit because it's super soft and it's intentional. So it goes exactly where it needs to go when it's supposed to go. And guys, don't be intimidated because it will never replace intimacy. So if you want to learn how to use it on your partner, pay attention.
Is that the same thing that you're using in the stores to take a temperature?
Look, if they put that function on it, you like here, here. Yes, it is. So you can take it in the shower. Yep. You know where you going with this. I see you got ideas. Okay. So now this last story I'm going to talk about really quick is a cock ring. And then it comes. Who got one? Okay.
I'm not surprised.
Okay. Thank you.
They sell them at CVS with condoms.
Wait. I'm in competition with CVS.
CVS be selling a couple.
Now I have to go on CVS. I thought I just had like bedroom candy or something like that. Look, I got CVS.
They got massagers.
There you go.
Oh, not massagers. Just saying. Okay, so the cock ring here, it helps to enhance your sexual experience as a couple because it has a vibration, it has the ring, and it has the rabbit on it. And now what the rabbit does for the female, it hits that spot.
Get into it.
Yep. And then it also adds a vibration, but for the male, it makes you a lot stronger and more erect, and you last a lot longer. And in some cases, if you know how to control your breathing, you can go for 2-3 rounds. Because some people don't do that. Just saying. And now, on the bondage side, y'all want to talk about that?
Yes, Lord, please.
Y'all have any questions so far?
I'm learning.
We got any questions so far?
It's a 50 Shades section, yes.
No, look, I only brought one. I didn't bring a lot. I don't want to scare the people away. So this one, I just brought a leash and a collar.
Right.
So who will use this?
He said zombie rapper.
Right.
Oh, please let me put it on you.
I'm ready.
Yes, I like
No,
this.
sweet potatoes,
We gonna
all that
work.
shit.
You got bought too.
I got bought.
I like that.
That might be too sad.
Hold on. We got an issue.
You got issue?
Yeah, there we
That
go.
got a two-piece difference.
Ooh. Like Steve.
Yeah, man.
It's apart.
Y'all don't want me to get started.
But you
Oh, we like,
See, that's why you need the leash. You out of control.
okay.
Alright, so that's why you need the leash. You out of control. Go on and touch you away, friend. You gonna wear this the whole time?
If you want me to. I know how to be obedient.
Okay, let me get a cry.
I like it. But as you can see, friends, this is how quick it can happen.
Right.
How? Look at this. I love this. All right, you can get up. And you can hold it until the top come back, okay? All right. So now, I think we can have a couple other conversations, and then I'll come back with my goodie bag. That's fair? Okay.
I didn't do enough. So, again, thank everybody for coming out tonight. Kind of chilled out. Yeah. But it's our 20th episode, really excited. Glad you guys could come out. And, you know, so tonight, you know, I know for me, I'm excited because man, we always talk, and we talk about sex. And I ain't gonna lie to you, when we talk about sex, we laugh, we joke, it's funny, you know, because we talk about my day show, and that's it. And then when we get with a young lady who we actually like, we want to be romantic, you know, we want to be I know, for me, I really don't care how people toys, I'm all for that stuff. But I spoke to a lot of men, and they get intimidated because you know exactly where to place that toy and how long it's going to take to get you off. And every woman is different. So without the toy, I got to learn me about it. But some of us aren't crazy. You know, I've been with women where I've given, an orgasm easy. Within 15 minutes, probably at 4 or 5. I've been with women where it takes 45 minutes just to get one. Okay? My fault, right? You keep this microphone next to brother. You got some things that's share with us. But, it's just, when we're by ourselves and we are actually with someone we care about, we would like to have a conversation. What is it that I do that you like? How long should I do it? Or once I'm doing this, should I do something else at the same time? Because I learned some women only orgasm if you play with the nipples while you're having sex with them. Or you touch them in a certain area while you're having sex with them. Or they can only come when you hit it from the back. But it's a certain way you do it. You can't try to destroy them from the back.
You said that then.
So. But you gotta but when you watch your movies, as a young man, because if porn is insufferable too, you're turning on certain movies, and when they show their love scenes, the love scenes are quick and it's aggressive. So for a young boy, 13, 14, sneaking to watch movies and stuff, you see this man, he got her bent over, he just tearing it up, and she's screaming, and that's sex to us. That's sex to us,
But it's not.
It's not, but we don't know that. Because
It can get to that point, but that's not normal. It can't just be that. Oh, sorry. I didn't microphone. I'll say something. So I don't think there's anything wrong with aggressive sex. I don't think there's anything wrong with if someone likes to mix a little bit of pain in with their pleasure. Because it may be, a way to release a certain thing that they can't really, scratch it, an itch that they can't really scratch, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You had that little choke, you had that little spank, you had that little scratch, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you gotta get there. So, oh my gosh, the vagina does so many wonderful things. And I just feel like if you, if you take your time without time, but so you can get to that, smack, but you can't just be that the whole time. Because I'm just telling you what, you want to see something dry. It's not gonna work.
Anybody else?
Now, to speak to both points that were brought up, you made a great point as far as how media has influenced how we look at and expect sex. Because even if you do have access to porn, what you see on the front page of all porn is a girl with 7 guys around her, a girl eyes watering, gagging, and you don't even see us. If we're being completely honest. So the media doesn't represent the full story, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. Because I'm pretty sure you stumbled across a video on Pornhub or something where somebody in their house with their phone is falling on the ground, it's a weird angle, and we all know that's real sex. They are actually doing it. And there's times where you might see someone with a leash on, you might see someone getting smacked, or you might see someone in a more realistic way. And that's the contrast that we kind of have to pay attention to when we're educating ourselves through the media. Because of course we're going to be pushed all this stuff that's not realistic to us. But if we take the time to do the research, just like how we might find an article and it says coronavirus is in your home. And you're going to research it, go through a lot of articles and be like, okay, well, where is it at? Is it real? Is it true? Is it fake? Whatever it is, you're going to do the research. So that's the same that we have to have that same attitude towards intimacy. We have to have it. And then to the female body, or just even the body in general, you can be turned on by getting smacked one day, and you might absolutely hate the second day. And that's the most exciting part of sex and intimacy, because you're able to read literally every time y'all have sex. Like, sex should never be boring. Because literally, you can have an attitude and you having the most aggressive, passionate sex you've ever had in your life. But then you might come in, you had a long day, you just want to kiss, love, ooh, I miss you, baby, type of sex. And you know, that might be fulfilling that day. But if y'all not on the same page and y'all can't have that conversation, then there's more to be dug up in that and in your relationship.
Thank you.
Yes, okay.
Give it to Mr. Matthews over here.
All right, Mr. Matthews.
Let's see what he got to say. No, you got something to say, young man.
I mean, I agree with Ramon and Monique. It's all about knowing your partner. If you want to be passionate, be passionate. You know, she likes you, you just gotta know that person, whoever you get into. I don't really have a lot to say, you know what I mean? You know, summing it up, but that's my take on it. If I know you, I know what you like, then sex would be great. But if I'm just a man, like, you know, trying to, bunny right around, slow it down, passionate. So, you know, we get into it.
So how old are you?
I'm 27.
27? Right. So a lot of times, like young guys between that age, you know, like you just said, you know, sex is like bam, 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 get over with, right? But you mentioned something about knowing your partner. So what did that look like for you, knowing your partner?
I mean, you generally get to know someone. So these days, a lot of people have sex first. Back in the day, it was like, you know, you want to take a person out, you want to get to know them. My generation was like, I don't know, get a piece of short. Like, that's how it is now. So it's like, that's the first thing you know is sex, or what this person like. So, like I said, it all depends on what that person's like. I feel like my generation, when you have sex, that's what determines if you're going to like that person or not. If the sex is good, you're going to probably leave that person, or probably talk that person wrong. But if not, unfortunately, that's just my generation. I don't necessarily. I don't. But
that, you know what? That's a good question. That's a really good question because I feel as though like I don't know anybody's age up here but a couple. But back in my day, I'm like 142. So anyway,
girl, you were 20.
but honestly, like when you met a guy, you know, it was the going out, the wooing, and all that kind of stuff. And now, like I said, I realize like this generation is so different. It's more of just sex. You know, and for women, our mind is so different than that. You know, and a lot of times most of the time when women say, yeah, we can just have sex and that's all, most of the time we lie. Exactly. Yeah, we lie.
Thanks.
Yeah, so don't believe that. You know, so but I'm here to tell you, I don't make that, I don't say that.
Damn, I didn't even get one.
You know. Right, we need him to talk.
No, we don't need him. I'm a drink. Cheers.
All right, so I think one of my questions is, aim it to Stanley right here, is there's a rumor, right? And we all hear this rumor. You lift a lot of weights, your sex drive go down. This is your chance to speak for all muscle men, sir. Is that true or not?
Come on, Stanley.
I'm just going to speak for myself. That's right. That's why. I feel as though, for me, the more I'm in the gym, the more my nutrition's on point, the more I'm more active. I can eat bad food. I don't feel like, really getting wrong. When I got the right food, turn it up. There you go.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ron Elliott. Guns and grabs!
Go, come on, Sam. So I can pass this mic. Come on.
No, just go ahead. Speak from your heart. So, I mean, from your point of view, from your age generation, what did you experience?
I've never seen a vagina I didn't like.
I'm a virgin.
I'm gonna pass this mic because I'm only here so I don't get fired.
So pass it down to the young lady sitting next to you. Which one lady you got?
You know, my experience is a little different because even though I'm in this generation that we're speaking about, I actually didn't live that life. I was in a relationship from the time I graduated high school until recently. I think we've been broken up for like a year and a half now. So I never, like, I'm now starting to do all the dating and things like that, and I'm just very old school. So you have to court me hard, and it's like a lot of guys, what I deal with is, this generation is the gold digger generation. So when you tell somebody you have to take me on a date, you have to court me, they're like, oh, that's all you women want. You want me to spend all this money on you? And it's like, no, I didn't actually spend money on me. I said you have to take me out on a date. You have to court me the way that your father courted your mother or your grandfather courted your grandmother. And that's the difference between, you know, growing up in a two-family home and seeing that and understanding their value and your parents instilling that in you. Like, Emil couldn't even call my phone without speaking to my parents, addressing them. Like, that's how I was raised. So, you know, it's a lot of young guys that come to me. There's a lot of older guys that come to me, and it's the same way across the board. You have to come correct. You have to court me. You gotta bring it all on the table. And I bring the same energy too, you know. One day I'm gonna pay for it. One day you're gonna pay for it. One day you'll plan. One day I'll plan. But you have to show me that you're worth my time, because there's a lot of women that aren't like me out there, you know, so.
True that. Pass it back over to the ball we got over there.
I'll just check the box search. Making sure that collar out too tight. Nice. I think I like this. This right here, this is fly. This is fly. So, some of us are distracted. But, okay, so, let me ask this question. Does the toys take away from the experience with men? Because that is a big concern. Like, whatever battery you go, whatever, if you get your cells a little long, if you get the cheap one, it's not. But every man is different, okay? And that is a concern. You know, we talk about it, we laugh about it. I know me and my partner, Black Jack, we speak on this. But we had 2 shows on this. We can't compete. We cannot compete. If you can take that toy that you love that's under your pillow and go right there and you get off in 6 minutes. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because we just can't compete, and it's frustrating for some men, and it scares a lot of men. A lot of men ain't gonna say it. A lot of, you know, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because after 17 minutes, you should have loved. I know how I pick this up.
But that's the key to it right there. Like, when it comes down to it, first of all, it's not competition. When it comes down to sex toys, they will never replace intimacy. Like, ultimately, every woman wants to be touched. They want to get you moaned. They want to get you grabbed. They want to squeeze. They need to hear that. Like, they need that. Like, they need the sweat. They want to smell the pheromones. They need that attraction. Yeah, like, they need it from their partner. So, no matter how quick, and 0.5, 0.7, whatever it might be that you can use a toy to get you where you're going, you still have an ultimate desire for interaction with someone else. So, when you guys get intimidated, it's because of a lack of understanding. You don't understand why we choose to use the toys and what we're trying to execute with them. Of course, there's some women who are, their mentality is I'm trying to replace a man. But ultimately, when you have a toy, it's because you're lacking something. And when you're lacking something, that means there's a lack of conversation. So if you're not able to communicate effectively to your partner, like, I need 27 minutes of foreplay before we start. So when we get into it, your 17 minutes match mine, you know, with whatever the math adds up to be, and we can be close. Like, I can come once, you can come once, or whatever it might be. So that's where the mentality just has to change. And when you think about it, men have been masturbating way longer than women have. Women don't have the opportunity to be taught, like, you know, you can play with yourself if you want to. That's something that a few women will stumble upon in the early age. But man, you know from the time you wake up that one time and it's up, from that day on, every morning you're masturbating. And whether you're watching porn, looking at magazines, whatever media you choose to use, think about how old you were when you started doing that. So if you flip the roles, how do we compete when you have been learning how to pleasure yourself your entire life? How do we compete when we're now discovering that we can touch ourselves? We're now feeling like it's okay for us to do it on our own without anybody's help.
I think it's a little different.
How?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you how. And I gotta speak for everybody up there, all men. When I masturbate, it's my hand and my dick. That's it. When y'all masturbate, it's your hand, the toy, your hand, you're playing with your nipples, and doing all of this. Y'all get into it. We don't get into it. We keep going back to the scene we like in the video we like. But we don't feel on ourselves and we don't I strongly feel like I can speak for everybody out there. We're not doing it. Our masturbation is a little different than yours.
It's the goal you're trying to reach.
We're trying
It's
to
the same goal.
And so are we. We just use it as
It's the same goal.
But y'all get it. So I watch porn. Okay. You do too. They don't. What was I saying? I was saying something about sex, wasn't I?
You said you watch porn.
Okay, so I watch porn, right? And I love watching ladies get off. Like I said, y'all just, it's just something about the body, the way you breathe. Maybe it's how I like the shape of your vagina, you shave or something. It's different. It's intimate, it's beautiful. Men's masturbation is not sexy.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I like to watch men.
Look, I'm not saying.
Yeah, that's something. Thank you. That's something that I like to watch. It gets me on. It turns me on, like, for real. So you might not think that. What you say? You might not think that it does anything for women, but that's something that turns me on. I really like to watch a man masturbate.
So if you saw a man masturbate, rubbing on his nipples,
Oh my
like
God.
that's gonna turn you on?
Yes, sir. And he does have me tied up while I'm doing it. You know what I mean? Yes.
Are you learning anything, PRS1? Are you learning? Don't pick your head up, son. Pick your head up.
You know what's like really sexy to me is when a man is masturbating and I can't touch him. You know what I mean? It really, really drives me crazy. So yeah, so I like stuff like that. You know, I like to watch men do a lot of stuff to themselves, and I'm just sitting there and just watching. Have me tied to the chairs, the bed, the door, the banister, whatever you need to have me tied to. But that drives me crazy. So don't think that it don't. Some women maybe, but I'm very in touch with my sexuality. Very. It's a lot of things that I like. I just haven't found someone that can match it. That's all.
I hope and pray come Monday morning, the 5 of us are still employed. I hope and pray. If 6 is you with us, I hope and pray. Do we have anybody say anything? Or are we good?
We good for that.
We good for record? Everybody say hi.
I think our studio audience is.
They're probably stunned. They're looking at the lovely ladies. They're probably hoping that Sean take off his shirt. They probably want Sean with the collar on, no shirt. You know. No, I hate this man. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. So, how do you make a person comfortable? Because a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to being outside the box, when it comes to sex. I've actually slept with a lot of women because their men wasn't thinking outside the box. And I thank those dudes for not doing their part of the relationship. Because it added to my account. Now you stop. But you have a lot of guys. I'm sure you have a lot of women who, I had this thing going to marriage, handcuffing, straps up, cuffing to the bed. I love that shit. Restrain me, damn it. I love that shit. You see it, that shit, still got it on. I love that shit. But you got a lot of people who are, they're scared, they're paranoid. They just won't open up. And eventually it affects a relationship. And like I said, a lot of dudes out there like they're not doing their part. I did it for them. But how do you got a whole box, like you got to transform. And it's I'm so quite sure if you with somebody and y'all going for the first time, he's gonna see that box. There's no way he's not gonna miss it in the house. I'm sure if y'all had a conversation, he knows that box is full. How do you keep them in the room and not get intimidated?
Oh, okay, so 2 things. First, you forecast it. Like Dominic mentioned, you should be courting the people that you're talking to, and that's on both sides. Because if you don't know this person and you just rushed into it, your expectations of sex, you can try to have it high, but how do you expect for someone to know exactly what you want, immediately? What I tell people to do is do a kink sheet. And that's literally like a worksheet from A to Z of all the sexual activities that exists. And you literally go through and you're just like, yes, I want to do this today with you. Then it's like, maybe, I'm curious, we might could do this if I'm drunk, if I'm sober, I don't know yet. And then you have your hard nose. But that entire list allows you to have a conversation that's actually productive because you guys can see okay, my partner says they're okay with choking. My partner says he may be on anal. Those are things that you can go through without it being any shame, without it being a random text hey, I want you to spit in my mouth next time we have sex, and then you're just where did this come from? It's not random. It's actually a planned conversation. So I think a lot of times it just turns into us being adults, and you have.
Ready now.
But no, that is honestly literally if you guys are able to have that adult conversation, then it's gonna turn into great sex. But if you are fumbling around, you don't think you can find the words, and you don't need to be having sex with that person. Because ultimately y'all just gonna be fucking. And that's it. And if it's good sometimes, great. If it's bad other times, then great. But if you don't take the steps to say okay, this is what I need to feel good. This is what I need more next time, or this is what I need less of next time. That's how you have a good sexual experience with a partner. And it doesn't have to be with just one, it can be 2, it can be whatever your passion is and however you love. But it's just one of those things it's a communication thing. And I always preach to people, get a kink sheet, look at it, do it for yourself so you can look and be what is flogging? Google help me. Pornhub help me. And then you go from there because right now you don't know what you don't know. At the end of the day, media doesn't help you and show you. 50 Shades of Grey is the only. And then they got the 365 movie. Those are the only things right now that are really showing you BDSM and kink. But is that the best representation? Probably not. But if you have something that makes your wheels turn and you're curious and you're just okay, well, let me start searching for this. Let me see what this is. I might let this person try this on me. I might let that person try it on me. I would never let anyone do this to me. You have that option with the kink sheet. Is that kind of?
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
It helps me. Did it help you, brothers?
You look scared.
I don't have no wine.
So I have a question for the guys for what she just said. Because y'all said real quiet instead of Ramon here.
I'm learning.
Right, but my whole thing is, what is y'all, by hearing her, what is y'all thought pattern? When you find someone that you want to be with and be intimate with them, what is y'all thought pattern about the things that she's saying? Because a lot of times, men seem like they're so afraid to go there. A lot of women is open, most of them. But a lot of men, you also reserve because y'all fear that somebody's always saying, don't touch my butt because that's gay. And I don't think it's gay. I don't think ain't nothing about touching a man's butt while you being intimate is gay. So my thing is, what? Right, because my thing is when the man's on top of me, that's what I grab for. Right, so you want to push him closer to you, inside of you. So my thing is, right, he's just saying touch it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have a question for the guy, and whatever. So Mr. Matthews, so how do you feel about that? How do you feel about when you've been intimate with a woman and they're touching you right there? Do you think it's gay?
I don't think it's gay, but it's just something that I'm a little uncomfortable with.
Well, why?
I don't know. It's just a thought. It's just a thought process. Like,
where did the thoughts come from? Because I see.
Where does it come from? Oh, cool.
No, I see if you were with a man. We consider that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're with a woman and you're trying to be intimate and exploring a whole bunch of stuff, why do you think that that's one thing that's gay?
Again, I don't think it's gay. It's just, for me personally, I don't know about these guys, but it's just something that I'm uncomfortable with. Now, for me, it's the lower back. You in that thing and she grabbed your lower back. I love that. But the grabbing in the ass, yeah. If I'm in it, and see, that's how I know I'm doing the thing.
Okay.
Like, when you grab that, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm doing the thing.
So we got you on the mic. What else do you like? What else do you want? This is why we here, guys. So we can't be shy. Don't forget, we unfiltered. We say what we want to say. So if you can't, speak outside the box, I don't know what to tell you. Oh yeah.
Negative. I think I like everything an average guy would like, the basic. See, I don't know what I'm just saying. I feel that I like what average guys like, the basic foreplay, kissing on the neck, kissing, the whole 9 yards.
Right, but that's basic.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something that you would do that's outside of that. So if a woman came to you and say, hey, I like to be tied up and I have these things right here, I want you to tie me, or what is that thing that you get in and they the swing, because I like that too. Yeah. Say if your partner brought that to you, would you try it? Would you be like,
I'm very open when it comes to
you're a Libra, right? Okay.
Very good. Yeah, I'm pretty open. Like, I don't think there's nothing that I probably wouldn't try.
Okay.
So
I'm back to what thing? So why is it?
Negative.
Why is it? Now if I say, look, bend over and you put this dildo up your butt, yeah, I get that. But I'm like, I'm just touching your butt in intimacy.
So you know one thing about me, which is kind of embarrassing.
Come on, share. That's my baby, that's my boo.
So with me, I feel like I'm more open when I'm intoxicated.
I don't know.
No real shit. When I'm sober, I be like, but when I'm drunk, yeah, we can probably do some shit.
Okay.
I'm just saying that's like me being. What the fuck is that? Razor?
No. Which one? That's mine.
So, brother, right here with the wine, you should be real relaxed. These questions should be real easy for you. So the question to you is the same thing. Why do men think that touching the butt is gay? What is your opinion?
Don't touch my ass. That's
Why? Right.
I'm not with it.
Okay.
It's sexy. It doesn't turn me on. What's it again? I'm gonna look at you like you crazy.
Why?
Hey, that's fine. So if I go past and see a woman that I like her ass and smack on my ass, you don't want to be chill out, G. So. Whoa. No.
Well, hey, let's put them out.
So I just want to speak on the topic because, it's a weird thing that, you were speaking about,
Yeah, when you finish, you might say,
But for someone like me, I'm one of those people where if I say something and a guy does something that I think is gay, I'm automatically like, okay, it's gay. So it's just what your gaydar is, how open you are to certain things. Because although she's my sister and I go with her everywhere and I listen to her preach intimacy and there's no boundaries and different things like that, she'll come to me and I'm like, if a guy offers me anal beads and tells me to use them on him first, I'm not dealing with him because I'm gonna think he's gay. And I'm just one of those like old school, these are the certain rules that qualify you as being gay and qualifies you as not being gay. Now I'm learning and I'm educating myself and I'm realizing that men have different pleasure points and different things like that. So, but even me being a female, right? But me being a female and saying that is gay, imagine what males are saying, because you have the jailhouse talk, you have your father raising you, telling you X, Y, and Z, you have the media letting, telling you what gay is and what gay isn't. So at the end of the day, it's just an educational conversation, and then us as African Americans, we have to get out of that box. That's what it is. We're in a box, and I'm still in the box. I'm creeping out slowly, but I'm still in the box. What?
It's traditional.
Wait, the box that we were raised in. That all white people are racist and things like that. That box. Oh, you thinking like a box? No. You into some stuff. You figure it out. You got some stuff to say for real.
The question is for you about the whole why do they think that touching their backside and intimacy is a gay thing.
I guarantee you don't like it.
My opinion on it is pretty much, I think it's gay as far as you caressing my ass, holding my ass. Then if you gonna pull me closer, you want me anymore, that whatever, just.
See, that's what I'm talking about. There you go. Hallelujah, praise
I don't
God.
got a problem with it, but to hold my ass is a problem. That's a problem.
But this is my thing. I get it, I get what y'all saying, but I'm saying it's a female. That's the part that I can't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's like me going over here and touching her breast. Like it's like, hold up, wait a minute. Wait, I'm not like that.
I would.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's like, if she likes it, does that make her gay? Or is that
Right, and that's the thing. That's the thing. It do not make her gay.
So then, if you actually like when a female touches your butt, if you like it, does that make you gay? I know.
But
does
why
that make you gay? It doesn't make her gay.
I think it's because the same women.
I just don't want to touch my eyes.
But you don't think it's gay. Because what would be gay is you take a dick from a man. That would make you gay.
We're not even going to talk about that.
A woman touching your butt is not gay. Same
Right.
sex.
We'll do this. I'll take that back. It's not gay when a woman touches me. Don't touch my ass. I'm just saying, it's not gay if you don't touch my
But it
ass.
still stands that your ass is not gay.
Don't touch it.
It's a
Period.
difference between females and males. That's
Right, that's what I was about to say. Because it's a thing where men like to watch women go at it. And then, it does disgust me to see men go at it.
Okay,
We're breaking on it. But the thing that's the double standard is the thing that men like to see women go at it like that. So no, they won't instantly think that they're gay. They turn from by that. Right.
It's not a double. It's a masculinity standard. You gotta understand, you have men, his size, no disrespect. You have men. You have a man's man. And I know, like, old school thing, you have a man's man. Now, I'm willing to explore some things with my woman, that's not a problem. I want to make her happy. But you have to realize, some things are off limits. I'm a man. Period. Now, with women, see, thing is with women, like, thing is with women, like, oh, so that's gay, that's not. Good shit. The thing with women, and before, the whole community came about, and everybody is now being themselves, and we know who everyone is and who they choose to be. You look back 30, 40, 50 years ago, the only time a woman was allowed to be creative or explore was in college, and it wasn't black women, it was white women. You understand? So our community is just catching up where the Euro community has been here for years. So for men, especially black men, who we have endured some of the harshest treatment in history, where we were forced to have sex with one another in front of our families. It's different for us. And a lot of people, they get offended, they get upset when they hear a black man say, no, that shit is gay. Because ultimately that shit is gay. And people get offended, well, fuck it, that's how you feel. But when a black man speak on it, there's more there than just an act. You understand? I ain't gonna go into all of that because that's not what we're here for. Right. But we know, and as a kid, you really don't know, and as you get older, you do your studies and you learn, you have mentors, they teach you about your past. It affects you differently. So it stays up there, And then when you go to jail, if you're one of the unfortunate ones to go to jail, you kind of get to experience what your ancestors went through. Because there's nothing but men in there. And you have men in there who will hunt you. And it's not a pleasure, it's a dominant thing. It's to make you feel small. So it's not that we wouldn't want to experience that pleasure with our woman. But it's in your head. It's in your head, because they did it to shame us in front of our women and children.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to look different at me. I'm still the same man who go to work, put in 40 plus hours a week. Because some relationships don't work. And I don't want you, that down now, it's like, oh shit, it's okay if I fucked you in the ass and had your mouth on the doorknob, I'm banging you, and all kind of crazy shit. But you now have something.
Where'd you get that?
I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, we can do whatever we want to do. And the next relationship or whatever, there's no problem. You just free. No, I'm just saying, that's the main thing. But when we leave that relationship, we're hoping and praying to God that you don't tell anybody. And we actually put your finger in my eyes. Exactly. And then we come and we date somebody that you may know or Facebook friends, and all of a sudden y'all ain't never comment on my stream before together. Now y'all comment on my stream. Fuck, this bitch done watch this shit. I'm paranoid because I'm actually digging on her now. I notice, so we get paranoid. So we start thinking, oh God, she's gonna tell her that I let her do this to me, and she gonna go, all right, I'm fucking nigga. It's an insecurity thing. It's an insecurity.
That's because you're willing to say those things about what your partner is doing or what you're doing with your partner to other people. So when you are in a position to when you're in a position where you're on the opposite side of it, to where you've done something that you don't know you want. It's like back in school when two guys had sex with one girl. No one would ever think to say the one girl wanted to have sex with the two guys. But it was always, she had a train ran on her. But just that conversation that you have amongst men is the reason why you're insecure. And you question if the woman's going to be able to say something to somebody else about what you did in the bed and how you feel like it's shame or it's something that you shouldn't be doing, because in all actuality, you're adults. Like, there's men out there right now that comfortably talk about how they like their butt when they get in their dick sucked. And that, but like, this is a real thing, and it's like, if you exclude the gay, like, I'm so serious, if you take the
I'm in the box. Somebody walk the fuck up to you, the UPS.
You never dated a Caucasian before? Caucasian girl? And she never tried to get it?
No.
Where was she from?
Yeah.
That's right.
And then we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have Mr. Johnson singing us a song to the ladies, yeah. But, go ahead. We know you said that.
All right, so we do have one comment on here, Ms. Bertrand. You know, we always like when you come out, check us out on the show. Ms. Bertrand was on the show one time. Ms. Bertrand says, when a woman grabs a man's ass, I don't think it's gay. Perhaps she's in the moment, especially during sex. If you hit it really good, grab that ass. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, there you go. But that's a compliment. Like, if a girl doing it, that means we doing it right. And you still in there like, oh, it's gay. Okay.
I didn't say it was gay, don't. You don't look at that. We not see how.
He's a virgin, though. He doesn't know.
There you go. That's it. That's all. Yeah, I'm a virgin.
Alright, so when I gotta jump off the string, I don't have an issue with anybody grabbing my ass. My wife grabs my ass all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
But she's my wife. That's it. Nobody else grabs my ass. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna hit pause on the live stream. We'll be right back on the live stream, and then right after that, we'll have Mr. Chauncey, the artist. Bring it in. Stay tuned, y'all.